colleges, or trade schools. Some of our Denver kids qualify for some of the finest scholarships available. We discover bright minds in surprising places. This 63-year-old program called Denver Kids was started by this Rotary Club in collaboration with the Denver Public Schools and now Denver Active 2030, and it has thrived and grown. Throughout its history, Denver Kids has provided hands-on opportunities for Rotarians and spouses to mentor a child and be involved in a very meaningful way. We presently serve 1,000 kids. In spite of generous ongoing support from the Denver Rotary Club Foundation and recently a successful Denver Kids Breakfast event, the sad reality is that we have thousands of additional kids who could benefit from our programs. In fact, currently we have a wait list of 150 students who can't receive the critical support provided by our programs because we don't have enough counselors to serve these kids. I would like to ask Craig Mills, who's a Denver Rotarian and the brand new chair of the Denver Kids Board, to make some additional comments. Craig?
We propose celebrating our 100th birthday by serving and saving 100 of these children, and that's $100,000 for 5 years. By hiring 2 more counselors for a 5-year sustainable period, we can change the lives of 100 kids, their families, their children, and their grandchildren. A small price to pay when you consider the financial and human costs of not supporting these kids. Denver Kids is able to leverage this investment with $50,000 a year for 5 years, allowing us to serve the remaining 50 children. Together, we can eliminate the wait list. The children and young people served by the programs of Denver Kids graduate at a percentage almost twice the rate of DPS. 90% of our students beat the statistical odds. And yet we are not satisfied because every student counts and every Denver kid should graduate. We are now at a point where we can produce breakthrough results, forever transforming the lives of our students and our community, and this project would allow us to do this, and Denver Kids has the internal structure in place to sustain the Centennial project beyond the 5 years of the program. No, this is not a new project like some of the others you'll hear about today, but it's a proven winner, just waiting for additional funding to transform the lives of more children and families. Good public relations in our community, Rotary members' involvement, and life-changing outcomes is what our proposal is all about. I just hope you can imagine what we could be reporting this time 5 years from now if we acted on our commitment to our children. Every student counts and every student graduates. Thank you for your time and consideration.
And now for the third option today, Grant and Ed Nichols will present that. Steve's already holding signs up and I haven't even started. I'm here to introduce an exciting and new program to consider for our Centennial project to celebrate our first 100 years of a club, and a project that will carry us into the next 100 years in ways that Ed will make plain to you in just a minute. This club has had a long-term relationship with the Colorado History Museum and the Colorado Historical Society. They helped us stage Artists of America, which enabled us to raise the first few $1 million corpus of our Denver Rotary Club Foundation. And in the old building, which will soon be torn down, you'll see a Denver Rotary Club gallery there. We have, excuse me, the opportunity now to do something not only new and exciting, but it will affect every single child in Colorado, not just our children in Denver, but throughout the state. And Ed will explain to you how that will work with the new technology available in today's world. There are over 120 Rotary clubs in Colorado. They're all children of this club. We were the first and only club in Colorado
going back almost 100 years ago. So they're all our offspring, and I think they will all want to get involved with us on this statewide project to bring past into the future. So I'm going to introduce you to Ed Nichols, who is a new member of our club. You heard him present at the Colorado History Museum just a couple of weeks ago. Ed.
Thank you, Grant, and thank you all. From a presentation we made a couple of weeks ago, we talked about the progress over 130 years to a new building that you see in the lower right, but there's a lot of questions still remaining, some things we can't answer there. But one of the things we know for sure is that our mission includes the education of Colorado elementary students on the curriculum, the history of Colorado, and that education is being squeezed out as we look at social studies curricula across the nation. It's an important thing. It's too important in cognitive learning skills and grounding their feet in what they do to allow that to happen. As a result, what we're doing is talking about a partnership with Denver Rotary to create the Denver Rotary History Alliance, a program that combines technology with live face-to-face presentations, a 5-part program to ensure that every student, elementary student in Colorado, has access to Colorado history lessons. And that will be done through a partnership that would serve through a network of sites across the state. It would ensure that all children, all elementary school children, would be within a 50-mile radius of a teaching center, and whether that trip to a teaching center would be for a live presentation or a virtual presentation would be up to that center at that time. So step one of this 5-part program is indeed to create the Distance Learning Center. In concert with the Denver Rotary, that Denver Rotary History Alliance would include a center that would be named for the Rotary here in the new building that we're creating. That program would then be available as it's sent out to either a teacher for presentation in a center or by a child to use on the web. Secondly, it would create a network of programs through the sites that we have, 13 locations throughout the state for Colorado historical sites, or in concert with community sites, libraries, and history museums locally that would help complete this entire network. The third portion would be having site visits available to the new History Museum and one-on-one presentations in there, as well as field trips to places like the Byers-Evans House. And the fourth program would be the creation of curricula by our staff to be sent to all these teaching sites, so they could either be live presentations from our staff or to the presenters in that location. The last would be an after-school program that would be set up again using Denver Rotary Alliance content and information that's created by the History Center and or delivered through the network site, but so these children all over the state of Colorado would have a location for an after-school program. 5 different ways that we talked about to make this happen, but our goal is to use the Denver Rotary History Alliance to increase academic and cognitive learning skills that we know social studies delivers, to enrich the understanding that every child has of his past, his grounding in the state of Colorado and Colorado history, so that as we give this next generation the skills to make decisions, they make them in concert and understanding of where they are as a Colorado citizen. How does this happen? It happens through about approximately estimated $500,000 in creation of capital and $100,000 in sustaining ongoing costs, because that relationship goes back so far through and previous to the Artists of America, and because we share the values at Colorado history of those of the Rotary. And the reason is because history matters, and I thank you very much.
Wow, 3 great projects, 3 great Rotarians. We'll now open to questions from the floor. So if anybody has a question to ask any of the speakers or any of the panelists up here, raise your hand and we'll bring a microphone to you. Please do that. And speak right into the microphone clearly and so everyone can hear, and we'll take about 6 minutes or so of questions. Here we go.